Lara Land. I'm a yoga teacher and spiritual guide. Yesterday we talked about how the brain works, and your brain is an amazing filtering system. Everyone sees different things, hears different things when they are in a room. So you and I could both be in a room together and have a different experience based on what our brain feels is significant. And you know, I didn't mention this yesterday, but the brain really loves to go on autopilot, right? Did you ever notice if you're driving and you're driving somewhere that you've driven a million times, suddenly you're there and you don't even remember driving there? It wants to save you energy. We run out of energy by the end of the day, so the brain loves to go on autopilot, and it's great, but sometimes it's on autopilot. We are not receiving everything that we want in our lives because we're not telling that brain, we're not giving it the right Google search, right? So it might still be searching for things that were important to us in our past, but maybe we want new things in our lives. So we always want to, like every 6-12 months, to go in and do some visualizations, some meditations to help rewire our minds to start looking for the things that we really want. So this is what I'm talking about, how you can do it. The mind works on feelings, emotions, and trying to keep us safe and trying to bring us things that feel good and that have good memories associated with them, especially from our childhood. A lot is imprinted in those early years. So I gave some examples yesterday. You know, you may have had an experience when you were very young, even, you know, in your first days of being alive, under 1 year old, where you had a negative experience, let's say, with someone that smelled a certain way. And, you know, maybe they didn't hold you right, or they were cold, right? If you're a baby and someone held you and they were cold, then you might always associate that smell with a cold feeling or a distant feeling. So you might not know this consciously, but unconsciously, subconsciously, you're resisting people or areas that have that smell or association. Now, if you're resisting someone who could potentially be a great person in your life based on this smell from when you were 1 month old, right, then you're cutting yourself off from some amazing things in your lives. So this is an example of this sort of wiring that's in our brains, and our brains are just packed full of information, just trying to help us make these everyday choices. And it's great because they're keeping us safe. They are keeping us away from danger, but sometimes we want to rewire because they might be keeping us away from some things that would be really, really great for us. Some of the other things we talked about yesterday, oh my gosh, we talked about so much about the filter of the brain and about the kind of thoughts that go through the brain on a daily basis. We may be having a lot of negative thoughts you may not even realize. So I was saying yesterday, you could be sitting in a restaurant and you hear a song, and you're sitting across from your friend. You could be in the moment, enjoying your food, enjoying your friendship, but you have this song that brings back some kind of association. Maybe it's the song that you listened to with your ex-boyfriend, or maybe it was a song from your high school graduation, and suddenly you're thinking about, oh, I didn't call that person I should have called, or you're thinking about, oh my gosh, remember when I was broken up with, and boy, I'm still doing the same things I was doing, and bye, I'm not really a great person, and suddenly you're on this like whole trip on your brain, this whole thing, your friend could be talking to you, and there you are having this whole trip about maybe how much you don't like yourself, or something else that's not very positive and going to make you very happy. So the thing is not to judge that this happens. It happens to all of us. Our brain can go on a ride. It's to become more conscious. To become more conscious of the thoughts that we're having every day. Because as we said yesterday, everything that's in existence, this whole world started with a thought, right? Tap away, please, if you get that. Like, I have this yoga studio here, and it didn't just like appear out of nowhere. It was a thought that came to my mind, and a thought that I brought power to by actually verbalizing to a lot of people. So once I have a thought and I want to make it really happen, or I want to make myself really accountable or responsible, I'll just start telling people I'm doing it. I said I was going to open the yoga studio in this exact space way before I signed the lease, but that put a healthy pressure. We didn't talk about this yesterday, but there's a lot of conflicting information about whether you should state your goals, state what you're about to do, or whether you should keep that private. And I do have some feelings on that. I think if you're not sure If you're deciding whether to do something and you're not sure, or you want to do it but you're not 100% grounded in that you're going to definitely do it, then don't tell people, because people will always have their opinions and they may influence you not to go through with something that you really want to do. But if you know you're going to do it and you just need that motivation, just start saying you're going to do it and you'll feel accountable to people around you to just make it happen. So that's what happened with the place here. So everything in this world that one can think of, one can create. And everything has a vibration. A thought has a vibration, and it's the beginning of the creation. So your thoughts have vibrations, and this is all proven by science in the way that you can talk to a plant and affect its growth. So you want to start becoming aware of your thoughts, because they're sending out vibrations, right? And you're telling yourself a certain story, and that story is manifesting your life. So if you're constantly telling yourself, I'm not good at a certain thing, then of course you're not going to be good at that thing that's in your brain. So just start noticing the thoughts that you're telling yourself throughout the day. And it's difficult because we're doing this all without being conscious of it. So just start by giving yourself a task, like every time I open a door or every time I drink a water, I'm going to remember at that moment to say, what am I thinking of right now? And then day by day, you can start to be conscious of your thoughts more and more and more, to the point that you're basically always aware of what you're thinking. You have this little observer that's watching what you're thinking. And don't judge what you're thinking. Don't say, oh, I'm thinking bad thoughts, I'm such a bad person, because they only create some more negative energy on you, right? Just allow the thoughts to pass and try to bring yourself back to the present moment by feeling grounded in your body, noticing your feet on the floor, and becoming aware of your breathing. And the more you can become present, the happier we are, because usually most of our frustration, anxiety, and fear comes when we're thinking about the future or we're worried about the past. So we always try to bring ourselves more present. And I hope that makes sense. And please, I know some of you are probably at work, but feel free to chime in, send any questions or comments, because I'm talking about a lot of big stuff right now. It's a lot of information to take in. But the more you become conscious of your thoughts, the more that you can start to think, wow, I don't want to think that thought. That's not a thought that's really helping me. It's not really making my life stronger or better. I'm going to replace that thought with another idea. And I'm going to give myself some positive feedback. Like I was saying yesterday, I don't say to myself, when I look at my checklist of the day, wow, look at all those things I didn't do. I say, Lara, look at all those things you accomplished today. And when I make a goal for myself, I try to make a goal that I can really hit, so that I can say, wow, Lara, you really succeed in the goals that you set for yourself. And then you create this story of success, and you start to tell yourself, wow, I'm a successful person. When I say I'm going to do something, I really do it. I'm so proud of myself. And then you realize, wow, maybe I can set some higher goals for myself, because when I set a goal for myself, I really do it. So then you set a little higher one, a little higher one. And this is how you start manifesting bigger and bigger things and people into your life. So start out with small, doable things so that you feel accomplished. And remember that if you make a mistake, if you have a bad day, if you set a goal and you break it, don't yell at yourself. Treat yourself like a little child. Say, okay, I made a little mistake. I'm going to keep going. Because what happens is we break that diet with one cookie. I said this yesterday. And suddenly we use it as an excuse to eat a whole thing of ice cream and to just quit altogether. So don't use it as an excuse to quit. One little mistake. The people that succeed in life succeed because they let those little things go and they carry on. And that's a big one that's going to help you a lot in life. Don't let yourself just use that one mistake as an excuse to quit. Realize we only have a certain amount of time here in this lifetime, and we want to make the most of it. So just learn from your mistake and move on, and that's it. Sometimes we have to learn from that mistake a couple times, and maybe one time too many, but you know what? If we keep getting back on our feet, we are going to succeed. I promise you. All these things I'm teaching you, I have actually implemented into my own life, and they have made me so much happier, healthier as a person, and that's why I share them with you. Train your brain most effectively in the morning by saying something really great to yourself when you wake up. Please stop saying, I don't want to wake up, it's Monday, I'm so mad, and just train yourself to say, I'm going to have a great day today. I'm going to really do something wonderful today. Because that's just going to set yourself up for success for the whole day. And that's something that I found that has really, really helped me. There's so much more that we discussed at Train Your Brain. It was over 2.5 hours, and we did some guided meditations. I would love for anyone to chime in that wants to or has any questions about how to rewire the brain, how to set doable goals. If you don't and you want to reach out privately, you definitely can. You can find me on Instagram at LandYogaNYC and Twitter at LandLaraLand. And I'm leading a retreat to cleanse and refocus your mind in Tulum, Mexico in December. And that's going to be a lot of one-on-one coaching. So I look forward to seeing you there. I hope you can check out those details at landyoga.com. I'll leave you with that. It's a lot of information. If you take one little gem, just one gem, even if you take that I'm going to wake up every morning and say I'm going to have a good day. If you take the one little gem of I'm going to start becoming more conscious of the thoughts that I'm telling myself. If you take the one little gem of I'm going to be nicer to myself when I mess up and just move on. If you take the one gem of I'm going to pat myself on the back a ton when I do something great. Take 1, 2 little gems with you and they will add up into a great life. And that's what I wish you. Have a beautiful life, everyone. Have a beautiful week. See you soon.